The security footage would later be studied in 14 different military academies across the Galactic Coalition, frame by frame, second by second, analyzed, dissected, and argued over by strategists who couldn't quite believe what their compound eyes were witnessing. But on that day, in the dying settlement of Keros 7, there were no analysts, only witnesses. Arya Voss had been nothing special in the records. A cargo hauler. Human. 28 standard years old. No military training listed. No augmentations. No enhancements beyond the standard inoculations required for deep space travel. She had arrived on Keros 7 3 months prior, taking contracts wherever the credits flowed, asking no questions, causing no trouble. The Vrex Dominion soldiers had come at dawn, when the twin suns barely crested the horizon. 12 of them, each standing 7 feet tall, their exoskeletons gleaming with military-grade shielding. They were professionals, trained in the academies of their homeworld, veterans of 17 campaigns. Their mission was simple: eliminate the settlement's communication hub and any potential witnesses. They had not accounted for Arya Voss. The surveillance drone captured it all. The shaky feed would become the most downloaded file in Coalition history. Kiri had been abandoned in the chaos. A Felrathi cub, barely 3 months old, her spotted fur matted with dust from the collapsed building where her parents had hidden her. Her species was known for their speed, their grace, their diplomatic acumen, not for their ability to survive alone. The cub's mewling cries had drawn Arya from the cargo bay where she'd been loading supplies for an evacuation that would never come. The first Vrex soldier appeared around the corner as Arya bent to scoop up the trembling cub. The soldier's plasma rifle was already raised, targeting protocols locked. Standard procedure: eliminate all organic signatures. Arya moved. The analysts would later argue about that first movement. Some claimed she'd had military training that wasn't in her file. Others insisted it was pure instinct, the kind of reaction that couldn't be taught. Her left arm cradled Kiri against her chest, folding the cub into the protective space between her ribs and elbow. Her right hand found a piece of reinforced pipe from the rubble. The first soldier's helmet caved inward before he could fire. Arya's swing had been economical, precise, carrying the full rotation of her hips and shoulders into the impact. The Vrex dropped, his shield flickering uselessly around armor designed to stop energy weapons. Not kinetic force delivered with desperate strength. 3 more soldiers appeared. Their tactical chatter filled the audio feed, voices clicking and hissing in their native tongue. The translations would come later. Target acquired, single human, unarmed, engaging. They were wrong about the last part. Arya didn't run. The analysts noted this detail particularly. Every survival instinct should have screamed at her to flee, to find cover, to protect herself. Instead, she moved forward, her body angled to keep Kiri shielded against her torso, her right hand never releasing the pipe. The second soldier went down with a crushed thorax. The third lost his primary optical sensors to a rising strike that came from below his shield's coverage. The fourth managed to fire, the plasma bolt scorching Arya's shoulder, but her momentum never stopped. She was inside his guard before he could recalibrate, her forehead smashing into his faceplate with a crack that the microphones picked up clearly. Kiri never stopped crying. The audio feed captured every terrified mewl, every whimper. Through it all, Arya's breathing remained steady, not calm. The biometric overlays would later show her heart rate at dangerous levels but controlled, focused. The remaining soldiers tried to establish a perimeter. Standard suppression formation, designed to overwhelm a single target with crossfire. But Arya understood geometry in a way that had nothing to do with formal education. She understood angles, cover, and the simple fact that the soldiers wouldn't risk hitting each other. She used their training against them. The 5th and 6th soldiers fell within seconds of each other. Arya had grabbed the 5th, using his armored body as a shield against the 6th's plasma fire. When the 6th hesitated, she was on him, the pipe finding the weak point at the base of his skull where helmet met armor. 7 down, 5 remaining. The tactical channel erupted in confusion. The translations were fragmented. Human shouldn't be, impossible strength, to mass ratio, fall back, and They didn't fall back. The seventh soldier tried to flank her. Arya heard him, or perhaps she simply understood battlefield awareness in a way the Vrex didn't expect. She spun, Kiri still tucked against her chest, and her boot caught the soldier in the joint where his exoskeleton articulated. He went down screaming, the servo motors in his leg torn apart. 8, 9, and 10 came together. Coordinated assault, 3 angles, overlapping fields of fire. Arya dove through a broken window, glass shredding her back, but Kiri remained protected in the cradle of her arm. She emerged on the other side before they could adjust. And suddenly she had the high ground. The rubble giving her elevation, and the broken wall giving her cover. The pipe found the 9th soldier's throat. The 10th died when Arya kicked him backward into a support beam, the impact folding him around the metal with a sickening crunch. The 11th soldier broke. The footage showed it clearly the moment his nerve failed. When he turned to run, Arya caught him in 3 strides. The pipe rose and fell. The 12th soldier was the commander. The largest, the most decorated. His armor bore the marks of 17 campaigns, and his shields were at maximum power. Arya faced him across 10 meters of scorched ground. Her shoulder was a ruin of burned flesh. Blood ran from a dozen cuts. Her breathing was labored now, each breath accompanied by what the medical analysts identified as cracked ribs. Kiri had gone quiet, pressed against Arya's chest, tiny claws gripping fabric. The commander raised his weapon. Arya threw the pipe. It wasn't a sophisticated move, no technique, just raw force and desperation. The pipe spun end over end, and by pure chance or perhaps something more it struck the rifle's power cell. The explosion consumed the commander, his shields overloading, feeding back into his armor systems. When the smoke cleared, Arya was on her knees. Kiri was crying again, but the sound was muffled against Arya's chest, protected by the human's body curved around her like a fortress of flesh and bone. 12 soldiers, elite warriors of the Vrex Dominion, all dead. 1 human. 1 hand holding a cub. The other hand that had held bodies. The coalition rescue team found them an hour later. Arya was unconscious, but her left arm was still locked around Kiri, muscles rigid even in unconsciousness. They had to carefully pry her fingers open to extract the cub. In the medical bay, as Arya recovered, the debate began. The video spread through every system, every station, every ship. Humans became something different in the galactic consciousness that day. Not just another species, something to be careful with, something unpredictable. The analysts studied the footage. The philosophers debated what it meant. The military strategists updated their protocols. But Kiri, when she was old enough to understand, knew what it meant better than any of them. It meant that when a human decides to protect something, the universe itself had better step aside.